Hello beautiful people, welcome to the channel. Reverend Debbie here, hope you're all doing well. Today I have decided to discuss these awful riots that are currently happening all over the United Kingdom. And this was all sparked by an awful event that happened at a dance class that had been arranged for little girls, under 10. It was a Taylor Swift themed dance class, and a boy of 17 went into the class and stabbed several people. 3 of the little girls died, and there are numerous other people in hospital. Now, I don't know all the details. They're not being released. Obviously, this is an ongoing case. They have caught the boy. They have released his name. His name is Axel Carne, I think, or something like that. I'll pop it in the comments below. I'll pop a link to one of the newspaper sites, Sky News or BBC. And he was arrested and is now awaiting trial, etc., etc. And these riots have been sparked and fueled by the right wing and certain people in the right wing who commented, intonating that these people were of a certain race and a certain religion. Of course, this is all fake. Before I get into the rest of the video, if you enjoy it, please click the like button, please subscribe to the channel. There are a number of people who keep coming back to the channel who haven't subscribed or haven't liked a video. I really appreciate it. It helps me know that this is what you guys want and would like me to talk about. And if there's any other subject that you'd like me to discuss, pop it into the comments box below. So, Axel Rudakabana, sorry, my pronunciation is not good. Anyway, this little boy, this 17-year-old boy, is black, but is Welsh, was born in Cardiff to parents from Rwanda. And because he is of a different skin colour, a lot of British, I don't want to call them patriots because they aren't really, but they are linked to various far-right organisations here in the United Kingdom, decided to cause havoc. So this incident happened last week. This horrible stabbing incident happened, and I have no words to describe how I feel about that, but my thoughts and sympathies go out to the families and the people involved around that, including the police who got there and were helping to, and the paramedics and the hospital workers who were helping to, keep these poor children safe. We don't know why this boy did this. And I'm sure we'll only find out when the trial happens. And so I can't sort of give any ideas. I have my own thoughts and ideas, but I'm not going to discuss it here because it would go against the trial. And, it's just a sort of legal issue that here in the UK, we try not to talk about these things until the truth is known. But what happened was we have a number of right-wing politicians and people and characters, one of them being Nigel Farage, who is a member of Parliament for the Reform Party and is the leader of that party. And he basically intonated, presumed that this was to do with an immigrant that had come into this country, what they call illegal immigrants. Basically, they're asylum seekers. They're not illegal immigrants. But he had pushed this narrative, his own narrative across, and this person is, probably of this race and of this belief, and this is what's happening to our country. I will link that video into the comments box, into the description box below as well, so you can watch that. And this, of course, sparked quite a bit of outrage. And Tommy Robinson, also known as Tommy 10 Names, and Lawrence Fox, and Richard Tice, and various other right-wing prominent people sort of tried to push this whole thing against that specific group of people, saying that these migrants, or as they call them, illegal immigrants or illegal migrants, they're actually asylum seekers. But these people are bad and we shouldn't allow them in the country and they should all be sent home. Now, this is the narrative that they're going on with. And a lot of these people do actually want these all people that are not British, and by that, I think they mean white, to be sent back to where they came from. I am not of that opinion. I am a humanist, and every single skin colour in this world is deserving of life. Every single religion in this world is deserving of its belief. So basically what happened, this sort of underground call to arms was put in onto the internet, and certain groups and certain people were, instigated to go and create more havoc to protect our children. That was their sort of line here. We were protecting our children. I've got more on that in a minute, my own thoughts on that, and that doesn't need to be censored. So they turned up. This all happened in Southport, which, by the way, is where some of my family members live. And they went along to this mosque where it was believed that this child had been or been from, and it wasn't. And they tried to attack the mosque, and they rioted. They pushed down walls and used the bricks to throw at the police. The riot police were there, vans were set on fire, cars were set on fire, shops were looted. And this has gone on over the last few days as well, in different areas, including but not exclusive to Liverpool itself, which is next to Southport, Tamworth, Sunderland, Rotherham yesterday. Now, Rotherham is close to me, and for those of you who are British, you will know about Rotherham. Those of you who aren't, I'm going to put some links to the story about Rotherham in the description box below, so you can have a look at that. Basically, what happened in Rotherham was a group of white girls were groomed for sex work by a group of immigrant men. And unfortunately, this case never went to court because there was insufficient evidence, and so it didn't go to the Crown Prosecution Service, the CPS. It was thrown back and said, right, there's not enough evidence here for us to go ahead with it, which is the way of justice. If there isn't enough evidence, you can't prosecute. Law, remember, is very different here in the UK to the rest of the world. And our current Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, was actually the head of the Crown Prosecution Services at the time. So a lot of people blame him for not stopping the grooming gangs in Rotherham. However, the truth of the matter is that the vast majority of grooming gangs here in the UK are white men, not men of colour. So these riots have gone on in various towns and cities across the United Kingdom. And what it is turning into now is hatred against immigrants. It's racism and bigotry, pure and simple. I have seen this before. I grew up in South Africa. I know what they are doing. They are trying to intimidate asylum seekers. They want these people to go back because of their false claim that they want to protect our children. One thing that I'm going to say now, which is probably going to upset some people. The majority of people in this country are white, and the majority of people in this country who grape or unalive girls are white, not black, not coloured, not of any other religion other than white Christian men. How do I know this? I've looked at the stats and I'm going to put a link to that below. So all of these big brave men who have gone to these riots, so-called protests, but they're actually riots, with their cans of lager and their other white powdered substance that they're probably snorting in some way to get all riled up. They're like football thugs. These are the sort of people that you've seen back in the 70s rioting. In 2011, we had riots known as the BlackBerry riots, and that was organised through BlackBerry phones at the time. Now, of course, the internet is just huge and, you know, people have access from all over. But my point that I'm trying to get across here is that they are blaming a certain demographic of people they're scapegoating them for their own, to hide their own crimes that they have committed. Now, there's been a meeting today with a Cobra meeting, which is held in Downing Street. It's an urgent meeting with the Prime Minister and various other ministers and the police and so on. And I know that they're going to catch these guys because everything's on social media. It's all being filmed and recorded. Their faces are out there. Not just social media, but CCTV. All the police wear body cameras. The police vans that were there had cameras on them. So they know who these people are. And the vast majority of these people are what you may want to call professional racists. In other words, they get together a bunch of guys and go, right, we're going to go and do this in this town. So yesterday they surrounded a hotel where there are a lot of migrants staying at the moment. Now, a failure of the previous government was the lack of the asylum claims being processed. And so we have got this backlog of asylum seekers living in the United Kingdom in hotels and other places that have been closed down as hotels, and now they are being paid by the government for these rooms to be used. This is used as well by the local councils in areas when a person becomes homeless. So, for example, a person may lose their home, they've got children, they've got nowhere to stay, so they put them into a hotel until alternative accommodation can be located for them. So this is something that really is completely misconstrued. They think that these asylum seekers are in 4-star hotels and receiving food and blah, blah, blah. No, they aren't. They've got a little primer stove or a little microwave that they're allowed to heat their food up in. They don't get room service. They don't get all of those pros and cons. They get £48 per week to live on. That's it. That's what they get. £48. That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. And if the previous government had actually been doing their job and processing the asylum claims, we wouldn't have this backlog and we wouldn't have this problem. However, the far right will always find something to riot over because they're full of hatred. And they are directing their hatred at the wrong people. So the excuse of we're protecting our children was gone last week. They've now been attacking innocent people who have come here seeking asylum, wrecking buildings, breaking windows of businesses. Oh, there's one guy carrying a tray of Greggs sausage rolls. For those who don't know, Greggs is a bakery here in the UK. The sausage rolls are quite famous. I particularly don't like them, but it's a big thing here. So they were stealing things that had nothing to do with what was going on. They were just there to cause chaos. They set the building on fire. I mean, there could have been people in there that would have died in a fire if that had have actually taken hold. And these people don't care. They don't care about you and I. They don't care about their families. All they care about is their hate and their hatred for people who are not the same skin colour as them. So, be careful out there. Investigate all of the stuff. Watch the videos that I'm going to link into the description box below if you want to, just to find out a little bit more. I've seen loads of footage online. I've seen some drone footage. I've seen a couple of hours footage from Rotherham and various other places. My sister, as I said, a family that live in Southport, they actually visited where these children had been attacked and murdered, and they also the mosque that they tried to burn down, and they laid wreaths for those children. And my sister said it was incredibly emotional, and I completely understand. She has children, I don't. But how would you feel if, you know, you had this incident that happened down the road from you, these little girls that were killed, and the very next day this group of thugs come into your city to wreck everything? So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you next time. Blessed be.